there is some rumors and some changes that are supposed to be possibly coming our way. First and foremost, which I think is going to be a little bit different, is that it's going to be on NBC, not on TNT anymore. So NBC, and I think NBC is going to run a lot tighter ship of a program than TNT, and they're not going to care about having Kevin Hart come out for the gazillionth time, who has nothing to do with the NBA. And let me guess, because he's short, we have to laugh at this.
And he was faded. He was faded. Did you hear what he said to Shaq?
Yeah, I'm sure. I know. I really didn't. I wasn't even paying attention to it, but
this guy,
I missed it.
Bro, this guy came up to Shaq. Shaq is standing next to him, next to Steph Curry before the start of the first game between the OGs and the Rising Stars. And he goes to Shaq, yo, why do you look like a porn director? Bro, I'm like, bro, there's a bunch of kids watching this, bro. And you're out here saying that. Like, come on, bro. This is a family event. You're out here saying this, bro. Come on, man. Very unprofessional.
This guy doesn't know how to read the room very well. And it's his job as a comedian.
He was faded, bro. Everybody did this. Everybody was like, oh.
What are we doing here? So I think that's going to be one major change that is definitely coming without a doubt, that NBC is taking over, and I think NBC is going to run a lot tighter of a ship, and it's probably be a lot more based off of basketball. Another thing that is going to be coming that is absolutely going to happen is that the start time will be earlier. NBC is also going to be having coverage of the Olympics at the same time. So the Olympic coverage is going to end, and then that's going to lead into the All-Star weekend and the All-Star game itself. So it's going to be starting around 5 o'clock, which is something that a lot of people have been asking for, because it starts at 8:30. You have a bunch of pregame stuff. Game doesn't tip until 9. You have 3 hours of, like you were just talking about before, of all these entertainment stuff they keep on trying to add. So that's going to change. NBC is putting it on at 5 o'clock, which is a good time. It'll work better. It'll work. And personally, I think it'll work better for the NBA All-Star, because you'll be able to get those people out that are at the bar a little bit. You'll be able to get, you'll have something to do on a Saturday, and it's not going to waste the rest of your night. So I think that's actually going to be really good for them. So some of the big formats to the changes of the actual game itself is that I actually brought this up last week, and a lot of people have been floating out there. It is basically going off of how the success of this NHL tournament that they did. But the new thing that they're floating out there is a USA versus the world game, opposed to playing just the East versus West. I think that'll be a really cool idea. And I think that the USA players are going to show a lot of pride, because the international players are coming for them, and the international players are gunning for them. And it's not going to be per country. It's going to be versus the world. So you'll have a Shea Gilgeous-Alexander and a Jokic on the same team versus Team USA, So I think that's a really interesting, cool dynamic to the whole situation. And I think it might add a little bit of pride back to the All-Star game. It still hasn't really changed the incentive, whether or not what happens afterwards. If it's just about money, it doesn't really do anything for the fans. I've always wanted something, a draft pick, I don't know, whatever you come up with. I know you can't do that if you're doing Team USA versus the world, but I'm just saying, if there's something else besides money, that doesn't do anything for me. I don't really care if LeBron gets another $1 million. I don't care if Steph gets another, 50 grand. I wish they could come up with something to get incentivize the fans to want to watch. But that's one thing that's being floated out there, is Team USA versus the world. Number 2, and this one's going to be a cool one as well, is a 1v1 tournament. And actually, surprisingly, there's already been a lot of stars that's already said they're down for this one. It's up to a prize about $1 million is what they're floating around there. Anywhere from $500,000 to $1 million is what the rumors have been. James Harden, Giannis, and I'm trying to remember the other player has already said I'd be in. I believe it was Kyrie, that they would be in for this, which is very surprising, which is almost very contradictory of these superstars. You won't enter the dunk contest because you're afraid of losing, but you'll get crossed up on TV and get your ankles broken, which makes you look worse. Doesn't that make that isn't that kind of contradictory? You guys think so? No?
Nah, because 1v1 is different from full court 5-on-5. It's completely
No. I'm sorry. Forgive me. I misspoke there. What I'm saying is that these guys would be down for a 1v1, but these same superstars won't enter the dunk competition because they're scared of losing or don't want to miss the shots. So you'll get your ankles broken 1v1 whenever Kyrie crosses you up, and that's okay, but you won't do the dunk contest because you're afraid of missing a dunk. Then that's kind of contradictory to me. I don't know.
I don't know if that's a reason, because honestly, I wouldn't even believe that these superstars would miss a dunk, honestly. Maybe they won't be as creative as these other dunkers that have been in the dunk contest, but missing a dunk, I don't know.
Yeah, I just find it so weird though. You had like Kobe and Jordan, and some of the biggest names have done it. So like, it's just kind of weird. But
it could just be wear and tear as well with dunking. Like I know Mac the whole season this year for Osceola, like he did not attempt a single dunk at all, except maybe like one or two. Like in his pregame ritual too, like he used to always like jump up the rim and hang there for a little bit. He stopped doing that. He's trying to take care of himself for the dunk contest. So maybe injury prevention might be the thing. I don't know. It's kind of weird. Because I don't know a single player that's been hurt.
Don't want to get ridiculed on social media. I think they're too afraid of their brand being hurt than not. But the other major format that NBC is promising, and which we've already alluded to it a little bit as well, is there will be stars in the dunk contest. They have somehow, some way believe that they have a formula that's going to get stars to come in. John Morant has already kind of tried to lay it out there that McClung is making him want to dunk. Now, they always say that stuff at the moment. Who knows? But McClung, he was talking about he's invited Zach LaVine, Aaron Gordon, McClung, and I want to say Giannis might have been up there. But there's already been some big name people that have they already kind of started planting the seed that, hey, we're going to bring this back. So kudos to NBC for maybe almost taking a little bit more serious. And I don't know if they have something behind the scenes and that's what they got going on. But G Mike, man, out of those events, or if you can choose all of them, man, what's your thoughts on this? Do you like this format, or do you think this will bring your interest back to the All-Star game or All-Star weekend?
So just speaking on the All-Star game itself, with the idea of USA versus the world, I think it's a good idea for sure. It's going to bring some competitiveness. I just like the old school East versus West, and just to make it more competitive, whoever wins that game gets home court in the NBA Finals. Yeah,
sure.
Do that. That's it. They're gonna play hard. They're gonna come to play. They're gonna make sure that they're gonna go out there and put on a show for the people, because each side, the East or the West, they want home court advantage because they believe every player believes that they're gonna make it to the NBA Finals. And if you don't believe that, you shouldn't be in the league.
Damian Lillard's already floated that one out there to Adam Silver, saying that that's something that might be able to get these guys back over the All-Star game.
100%.
I think that's a great
home court advantage in the NBA Finals. You go to Game 7, you're at the crib to win it all. 100%, bro. That would be the best.
That's what baseball used to do. So it's like, why not?
With the 1v1 tournament, I think it would be very entertaining for sure. I would just have to see what players are going to be in it, because we don't want to see Jonathan Kuminga. We don't want to see Bobby Portis. We don't want to see freaking Kel Ware out there. No, we want to see the top level players that can actually play 1v1 ISO that you see on a 5v5 court. Kyrie Irving, James Harden, maybe if you got to throw some. If you're trying to make it all positions, then maybe Wemby. KD, like these players that can actually play 1v1. I don't want to see a player out there that can't play 1v1 for nothing. Like it's not gonna be entertaining. That's the only thing. And then with the dunk contest actually bringing in stars, yes, it would be more attracting to the fans. They'll be like, yo, Giannis is in the dunk contest. Yo, John Morant's in the dunk contest. Now I want to watch. But these players gotta come with some creativity. Can't go out there and be doing the same dunks that have been done in the past, because it's just like, all right, cool, through under the legs. I'm not saying that is easy. That shit is difficult, 100%. But, like we want to see creativity, which is why Mac McClung has won 3 years in a row, because he's very creative.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree. Giannis has already said too, like I was saying before, that he's excited. He likes the 1v1 just because it actually allows defenders to play some defense. And he was like, I think that's going to be something that could be a determining factor. What about you, BC? What's your thoughts on these things, man? Do you would these bring you back, or what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, the USA world is intriguing for sure, and it like national pride and stuff like that. It's American sport. How does that compare to the rest of the world? Honestly, the way international talent at this point in time is the highest that his skill levels at the highest it's ever been. So that would be amazing to see. But I do also agree with G Mike. Like, the best way I think to get the players to care about it is to give an incentive. And at this point, probably the only incentive that would make sense is home court advantage in the NBA Finals. And how funny would that be too? Where let's say a team breaks a Warrior, like let's say the Celtics break the Warriors record and go 74-8. And then they end up not getting home court advantage in the finals because East lost in the All-Star game. And you have Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, who could have made an impact. That would be a really fun storyline. It'd be interesting. 1v1 tournament, I love the idea. I also think it'd be hilarious if you got like Trey Young versus Wemby. That would be a hilarious one-on-one matchup right there. Like the complete opposite. Like that is entertaining. And then the dunk contest, yeah, if you could get Aaron Gordon and Zach LaVine in next year's dunk contest to challenge Matt McClung, I would love it. And how crazy would it be 10 years ago from the date of him first getting robbed in the dunk contest in 2016, AG comes back and wins it in 2026. Like that would be crazy. I would love it.
Be full circle for sure. I like those ideas. I floated last week on the show. If you want more thoughts on what we were talking about the All-Star game with that, then check out last episode for sure. But I think that America versus the world thing is a great idea. I've been pushing for that, and especially just the crowd reaction and how this tournament's been going for the hockey. I think that woke the NBA up that, hey, these guys are playing hard. Like there's a lot of pride going on. These guys are playing hard, and this is. It's not necessarily the All-Star game, but it's definitely a form of it, and they're playing. You know, I mean, like that USA Canada game was wild. That first one. This is the second one in the finals. As of right now, we're in second period, 1-1 tie right now. But having said that, though, I think that'd be a good thing for it. And if they come up with some sort of thing for the fans for them to incentivize you to watch, that's awesome. I think the home court advantage thing is a cool idea. I'd be hard maybe to get the NBA players to sign off on that. But I think that's a start. Something got us kind of made to get them to come back and play, because it's not the same. And also, if you heard during the All-Star weekend about the Draymond saying it sucks, and then Charles Barkley coming back, I totally agree with Charles Barkley. Be like, don't blame the NBA. It's you guys that did this. It wasn't our generation that did this. It's nothing about 80s, 90s, 70s. It's you guys got lazy and didn't want to do it. So don't blame anybody and say this sucks.
Well, not Draymond's generation though, because Draymond came in 2011, 2012, and it was already. No, actually, it was still competitive then.
Yeah, no, it's
you're right. It is his generation, 100% his generation.
Yeah, but
doesn't want to blame him.
Yeah.